If you buy and sell vehicles for a profit or you want to, you're in the right place. This is the Flipping Genius podcast. Our number one goal is to help our listeners make more money. Every episode, we share information, ideas, and experiences of real-life car flippers. I'm Randy Lee. I'm the host of Flipping Genius. I've flipped cars most of my life. For over a dozen years now, I've been a licensed dealer. I am working to build the best podcast about successfully flipping cars for a consistent profit. Let's get to it, flippers. If you are watching the video, you see my favorite room in the house. My money room. It's where I keep all the dough to make all the deals. Actually, if you aren't watching the video, you wonder what the hell I'm talking about. And the screen behind me is loaded with stacks and stacks and stacks of $100 bills. And it's funny because it's not real, so don't come rob me. If it was real, it'd be super cool. But a funny thing is, and I may have mentioned this before, my wife and I will drive by a big beautiful house, or we'll see a beautiful new all kind of things. I see buildings, and my wife will say, "I wish we had this. I wish we had that." And I always say, "I wish we had all those houses all filled with $100 bills, or I wish we had all those cars or all those boats all filled with $100 bills." And this is, in my mind, what it would look like is what you see on the video right now. If you're listening to the audio, I apologize. Just imagine rooms stacked to the ceiling with $100 bills. I figure if you're gonna wish big, and that's what we're looking at right now. I just thought it'd be fun to do this. Hang on a second. I'll come right back, and we'll look at something more realistic. So I thought today's been a crazy, hectic day here at Middleman Enterprises, the name of my company, here in Alabama. Beautiful day, and productive day, productive week, productive month, productive year. Things are going well with my flipping business, despite all of the struggles that we're all facing with inflation hitting all elements of our economy, and it's been beating the hell out of us in the car business. I'm not telling you anything, but despite the fact that I've run into a dead end buying where I traditionally bought, I've made adjustments. I haven't adjusted my market. I thought about it. I investigated it. But I decided that's not where I want to go. I like the market I'm in, which is pretty much $2,000 to $4,000 end value of a car. That's what I sell them for. I sell cars cheap. I've gotten some feedback from some of you on the car flipping forum, including our buddy Vic 45, who looked at one of my vehicles the other day and said, he'd ask about 20% more for it, and he's right. But I price them cheap, I sell them cheap, and I still make money. Every now and then I've got to sell one for more than I feel comfortable selling them for, but I got to do that to make a profit. And fortunately, although I don't have stacks and stacks of $100 bills around, I do have financial wherewithal that I don't have to sell immediately. Every now and then I feel like I need to move this vehicle, not because of my financial situation, but because of a fear that the vehicle is going to create more problems down the road, and we're going to have more issues with it that I'm going to have to, pony up more money. And for that reason, I will sell a vehicle quickly. But most of the time, I take my time until I get the price I want. But the price I want is usually fairly reasonable. And but I wanted to talk about adjustments today. You can't. What's that old definition? The old definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. You can do the same thing and get the same results, which are are fantastic as long as they keep clicking along. But I think a lot of us, including me, have seen in the last couple of years things change in the car business, where we can't get the cars. There's more competition. Maybe I'm at fault for that because I'm encouraging everybody to get into the flipping business, but I think I'm a minuscule element to that whole thing. So I don't think I'm that important. I just think there's a lot of people looking for side hustles. A lot of people realizing that this is something they can do. It makes a lot of sense. And with that in mind, you've got to stay in front of the competition, and you've got to make smart decisions. So entering the year, I was entering the year 2022. Right now, it's for the sake of you listening at a different time. Today is April 26th, 2022. I say that because podcasts live on and on, so you may be listening to this 5 years from now. So I want to be relevant, and I think the relevant thing here is maybe inflation won't be crazy then. Maybe cars will be cheap again then. But whatever is the case, there will be competition. There will be changes. There will be situations where you have to adjust, and you've got to learn how to adjust to those situations and remain profitable. I made some changes in the way that I'm buying my vehicles. Honestly, I'm not going to go into great detail on it because there's competition. I know competition is probably listening to me. I don't want to give every single secret away, but I've expanded my reach a little bit, and I am buying vehicles. I bought 2 more this week, which is great for me. If you're a licensed car dealer like myself, then you may be wanting to buy 30 or 40 vehicles a week. That's not the operation that I run. But I think I still have some things that I can share with you that'll be beneficial. If you are the kind of car flipper, like Sam from up in Michigan, or Vic 45, or some of the other guys that we've had on the show, or a lot of the guys that are members of the car flipping forum, you may be only looking for 1 car a month, or 1 car every 2 months, or 1 car every 3 months, whatever it is. But the fact is, you've got to buy the right car. I mean, it's got to be a deal. We've said it a zillion times. You make your money when you buy it. So you want to be able to buy a vehicle at the right price, because that's when you're making your money. And sometimes you're not getting it really for the numbers that you wish you could. And I've run into some folks recently that they're targeting a much lower profit margin than I feel comfortable with. Right? I don't want to work cheap, honestly. And I work a lot cheaper probably than some of you, but I try to target about a $1,000 per vehicle profit is what I'm shooting for. And that's what, boom, I'm hitting it on the mark this year, which I'm really, really pleased with. Everything's not perfect. Lost money on a vehicle a couple weeks ago. I don't like that, but it was a quick loss. I cut my losses, moved on. Didn't waste a lot of time on it. It was a bad buy, and it didn't kill me. It didn't knock my numbers off, which was important because I didn't lose a lot of money on it. And moved it on to somebody else that will probably figure out a way to make money off it. That's good, because that way I don't burn any bridges. Like I said, I bought a couple last week. I bought a couple this week. So that's a big adjustment, because I was running into a dry spell where I wasn't finding the vehicles that I needed to buy to make money. And I don't want to buy vehicles for the sake of buying vehicles. I don't even like cars that much. I like making money. I like the stacks of money that you saw earlier if you were watching the video. I'd love to keep making those. And the beautiful thing about car flipping is, whether you're doing 2 or 3 a year, or 2 or 3 a week, or more, it's something that you can continue doing and continue growing. And I'll be 62 years old this year, so my goals are different than if I was, like, reverse those numbers. If I was 26, I'd have a whole different idea of what I want to accomplish. honestly, if you've listened to the podcast, if you've watched videos before, I want to play some golf. I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy some time with my wife. And car flipping allows me to have a lot of latitude. That's one of the things I love about this. Um, I can do it from wherever I'm at. If I decide to live at the beach for 2 or 3 months of the year, or if I go up north and live in my favorite town up there on Wisconsin, I could do it up there as well. Now I'm not licensed in all the states as a car dealer, so that's one situation. But I can get licensed. I can if that's what I would choose to do. So the flexibility of being a car flipper is exciting, and I'm excited today because of the fact that I've seen the adjustments I've made this year pay off, and that is really fantastic. And I wanted to also talk about something that was fun to post this week. If you're a member of the car flipping forum, if you're not, you should join. It's free to join. Just go to Facebook and search Flipping Genius. You'll find the car flipping forum. It's free to join. It's under Facebook groups. Just type in Flipping Genius. You'll find all our groups, and the car flipping forum is the first one that pops up, I believe. And you can share your experiences. And I shared some just fun experiences I had recently. And I think I mentioned it a week or two ago. I had a little Honda CRV that I bought. A real good mechanical car, but cosmetically needed a facelift to get the numbers out of it that I wanted to. Now, as I've said, I am not a wizard in any element of the car flipping world, of the mechanics, body work. I really don't do anything except for what you're seeing me do right now, just talk. But the one thing I have done before is this brush paint or roller paint a car, and that's what I saw. I saw an opportunity with this little red CRV that had a solid body, no rust or anything like that, no dents, just a lot of clear coat peel on the hood, the top of the sides, and the top. And I decided I could mix a Rust-Oleum based paint that would be fairly close to the red that was on the rest of the car. The guys at Dennis Johnson said, "Hey, if it doesn't work with the red, you could do a two-tone with black and red." And I thought about doing it, but I decided to stick with red, and it came out pretty good. And not fantastic. A lot of you guys, like I know Sam up in Michigan, who I mentioned earlier, and several of you you're sticklers for details. You want this vehicle represents you. You want it to look 100%. You wouldn't be happy with the job I did. This honestly, you might be happy with the results I got in that when I sold the car, I made significant profit margin, and that's what I shoot for. That's why I'm in this business. I want to provide good transportation for people, and in order to get the profit margin from this one that I needed to do, I had to make it look better, and this was a way that I knew I could do inexpensively and with my very low skill level. And I thought I'd share it with you. So I did. I shared those pictures and a video on the Facebook group, on the car flipping forum group, that included both the poor man's paint job that I refer to, and the use of a heat gun to bring the plastic on the trim on that vehicle back to life. I didn't have 100% success, and but I made it look a lot better. And I talk about the 10-foot rule. My vehicles look good from 10 feet. That's just the honest truth. If you were paying $35,000 for a CRV, you'd want it to look like the showroom. But when you're buying it from me for $3,300, especially in this market, the fact that you've got a vehicle that runs well, looks respectable, you're going to be happy. Everything works on it. you're going to be happy with that vehicle, and it's going to last you a long time. And 2, 3 years from now, when you want to sell it again, you'll be able to probably recoup quite a bit of your money, which that makes me happy because my customers are happy. They send more customers to me. They come back and buy from me. What a cool that thing that is. So if you haven't seen the pictures that I posted, check it out. Go there, and if you're listening to this 5 years from now, and the pictures aren't readily available there, send me an email at flippingquestions@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send you the files from that. You can see what we're talking about. And you may say, Randy, you're crazy. I'm not doing that. I know somebody asked me, don't you have a paint gun by now? And I probably should. I know one of my friends offered to allow me to use it. And maybe I'll take him up on the next one, because I've got a Chevy Impala I've got to do something similar to right now. Only the top. And I think on that one I'm going to do a little something different. But my plan is to do something real basic again. Got a real nice one-owner Chevy Impala, mechanically really solid, and the only bad spot on it really is the roof, just from probably sitting under a tree for a long time. And I can fix that up and make it better. That's the thing. Make it better than it was. Make it safe. Make it sellable. That's just what I try to do. And anyway, that's my shtick. Today was an interesting day, talking about making adjustments. Like I was saying, making adjustments. This is a simple adjustment. I was kind of tickled because I had lots of stuff cooking. I went to bring. I will transport a vehicle occasionally, but I try to keep my costs low, and that means that when I'm paying for vehicles, I try to transport them myself. And I was going to transport this Chevy Equinox that I bought today, and then realized that it was an all-wheel drive. I actually didn't know that until I actually had it on the tow dolly, getting ready to tow it, and I saw the AWD on the back of the vehicle. I'm so glad I did. I called Gary at Dennis Johnson and said, hey, can I tow this thing? He said, do not tow that. You'll destroy it. So I know there's a way you could tow it, but we weren't going to do that. So I wound up driving that, but I had to juggle the vehicles I was towing. So I towed the Buick Lucerne that I had bought at the same time, and got it back to Dennis's, where I take everything to the mechanic first. My mechanic looks at it. Dennis Johnson, Auto Repair. I like to mention him like 80 times a week. And Dennis's guys make sure that my stuff's ready to go. And I got the Buick there, got it unloaded, and I originally thought, well, maybe I'll tow the Buick there and then drive it back and pick up the Chevy, take it back, bring my truck back. But the Buick was very questionable. I had some significant concerns about it mechanically, and decided I didn't want to do that. But fortunately, Dennis had just got a Mazda done that I had bought a couple weeks ago, and it was ready to go. So I drove it back, left it there, drove the Equinox back. It drove like a champ. Got a big bad. Got to buy 2 windshields for the Mazda and the Chevy, but other than the windshield, pretty solid vehicle. Drove it back, grabbed my truck and my tow dolly, went back and threw the Mazda on the tow dolly, drove it to my lot, and rolled up to the house in time to have lunch with my wife. So that was pretty good. Just a little juggling act, some high math by the flipping genius. That's about as high math as I usually get into. But it's a good productive day. And then at the end of it, I went out and did about a 6-mile walk, which is something I've been doing. I'm hoping that maybe you can even tell from the videos that I've dropped 36 pounds this year. So that's something I'm trying to do too. And see, that's what I'm talking about. What's important to you? What's important to you is important to you, and that's great. It could be just making stacks of cash. or could be earning your freedom. And that's what I believe car flipping can do. Um, it's done it for me for years and years. Flipping cars has supplemented other businesses. It's been the business, um, and it is more the business today than anything else I do. Occasionally, I'll come across some real estate that we flip. I run on another successful business on the side that I don't like to talk about here because it's not related. And I've got some other things working, but car flipping is something that allows me to do that, and I do it in the form of a as a licensed car dealer, and I encourage you to do that too. If I know it can be expensive, and we've talked about that in the forum, and I've talked a bit about it individually with a lot of you, and it may not fit, but I think it's a way to gradually work towards getting your license and doing this legally and above board 100%, because it takes away the worry and it gives you more opportunity. You're going to have more opportunity uh, because as a licensed business, you're able to take more tax deductions, and you're able to take advantage of the environment business-wise, and it gives your customers uh, more security in their purchase. But I do want to again mention what I mentioned. I think it was either last week or the week before. Be sure that you are staying abreast of the changes in the laws and the changes in the rules, because this stuff is serious business. And I just put my red flag rules that I mentioned. I put those in force. I'm all legal. If I get that call from the attorney saying that he wants to see my rules, I can say, give me your email. I will send them to you because I got it ready to go. I don't think it'll be an issue for me. And if you get into that, you'll see why, because I don't do any financing. But if you're doing financing, make sure, absolutely sure that you do this. But regardless, all used car dealers across the United States of America should be looking into this immediately. And this is, as I said, April 26th, 2022 is when I'm talking about this. If this is 2 years down the road, this will be mandatory just to get your license probably. So but that's today. Today is today, but 2 years from now, 5 years from now, there will be changes coming that you've got to stay abreast of. And I encourage you to join your association and to be active in it, and to do continuing education and learn all you can uh, from our podcast and any other podcast like this. I know there's another one uh, about independent car dealers. It's a great podcast. Those guys really know their stuff. And I don't think they even know I exist, but I know they exist, and I listen to their stuff too. If you've got questions about any of this, or questions about how you can adjust on the fly your business, feel free to reach out to me, flippingquestions@gmail.com, or go to the car flipping forum, post your questions there. Ask other people in the forum. I mean, this stuff is valuable, guys and gals. Forgive me if I'm politically incorrect, but I'm an old dude. You need to share with each other. You need to ask each other questions, listen to each other's experiences, and you'll benefit. See, the big dealers, they put together networking groups where they pay big money to be part of this. This is free. Now, I would love it if you guys would become flipping team members and flipping champions, and share the wealth a little bit with Flipping Genius, so that this is actually a revenue source for me. But I know most of you aren't going to do that. You hold on to every nickel like I do. But I tell you this: if I'm participating with you, I'm going to do everything I can to help you make more money, because that's the whole goal of the podcast and everything that we do at Flipping Genius. But you can do it with each other too. So if you're going to join, be active. And if you're not going to join, why not? It's free, free. And like I said, if there's anything I can do to help you make more money, to answer questions, to direct you, if there's anybody that you think I should be talking to, if I should be talking to you, if you'd like to be on the podcast and share your information, I'd love to have that conversation with you. Reach out to me by email, reach out to me by message on the group, and we'll talk about it. If there's just information you want to share, but you don't want to have your face and your voice on the podcast, I understand that. Everybody's not a big ego maniac like me and wants to have their their information out there. But it's a lot of fun. We do it pretty. It's a pretty simple conversational thing. I usually do it through Zoom, so we can do it right where you're at, and it usually takes no more than a half hour, 45 minutes to knock that out. And you'll be helping somebody else, and I guarantee you, if you try to help somebody else out with this, you will make yourself better. It's one of the beautiful things about, I don't know, life, I guess. I've seen it happen so many times in so many business situations over the years. Um, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Um, that's what I got today. I hope that was helpful. And if it wasn't, I'll give you a full refund. I'm sorry, I'm a smart ass. But hey, we've got some good stuff coming up. Some excellent guests coming up. Got to work around their schedule, and at this week that didn't include anybody else other than yours truly. And I hope at least I was encouraging. If you're running into a dead end, analyze it, attack it, and go forward. Find a way to move forward, man. But don't make bad decisions. Make your decisions based on what you're trying to accomplish, and you'll be a lot happier for it in the long run. Hey, let's work together. Let's make some money. Let's all become flipping geniuses.